I'm bored, and since the secondary channel posts uploads when I feel like it, I felt like this was the perfect day to do that because I'm bored. But what will you be posting about? Oh, upload feels. That joke would have been funnier if my name was actually good. Well, today we are talking about pre-orders. So though anybody watching this probably only clicked on it because they wanted to talk about pre-orders and probably already have background information on this subject, I'm going to talk about what it is anyways, for like the 0.1% of people that decide to click on this video and don't know what it is. I'm just kidding, nobody knows about this channel, don't worry about it. Pre-orders are when you buy a game before it comes out and then you get it on its launch date. This is good for people that really want a game as soon as it comes out and want to be the first ones to play it. So there is a very clear positive and a very clear negative in which we will address, but mainly it's going to be the negative. Now, just because I am addressing more of the negative than the positive doesn't mean that I don't think it's good. It is good to pre-order a game, but there is a clear negative to it. So let's go into the positive, though. We'll start off with the good stuff. This is very clear, like I said, but you get it the day launches. You will be the first one to experience the game once you get it. You don't necessarily need to pre-order it. You could just, wait outside a GameStop, just waiting for it. But let's face it, it's more convenient to pre-order. You get your game right away, and that's a good thing, because you want to be the first one to experience it. But there's a clear risk at hand when you pre-order. What is that, you may ask? Well, it is that it is super risky to pre-order because you don't know the value of the product compared to how much it's going to be worth. Whenever you pre-order a game, no matter what game, even by the most trusted company, you are essentially gambling for if it was worth being the first one to be able to play a game. What are you talking about, bro? Of course it's worth the price every time. Like, I'm pre-ordering Red Dead Redemption right now. I know it's gonna be good. The thing is, though, with pre-orders, especially, let's talk about sequels. For sequels, they're obviously going to change up stuff about the game. Whether it's a good change is not yet to be determined by when you get the game. It could be crap. It could be in an unfinished state, and by the time you get it, it's probably, I won't say it's worth it, but it wouldn't be worth it because it's an unfinished game, The point is, you don't know if the game is going to be bad and if it is worth the pre-order. For example, I'm not sure if this was a pre-order game, but I assume it was because it was made by the company who made Halo, Destiny. Destiny, obviously, not a lot of gamers liked. It had a very small community. It's very controversial. So, yeah, nobody really liked Destiny. Okay, well, I won't say nobody, but it wasn't a very liked game. So, obviously, their money was wasted if they pre-ordered the game, if the game was even a pre-order in the first place. You know, it's one thing to pre-order a trusted series, a very trusted series. You know, it's still taking a risk, but you know they're capable of doing work, so. But it's another thing to pre-order a new IP. I mean, like No Man's Sky is an example. I'm not sure if this was a pre-order either. Okay, I'm gonna admit I don't know much about games that were pre-orders, but all these false promises by No Man's Sky were made, and yeah, so there's really nothing much more to say. I mean, like, sure, it's fine to trust a new IP if it's a company you can trust, but just know that it's, I mean, I won't say it's your fault, but you probably shouldn't have spent your money. You probably should have just kept your money for now, waited till the game came out. So yeah, so, I mean, I would assume most games already have a legacy for pre-orders, but still, you can't fully trust a company, all the time. But like I said before, the risk, usually there's not very big of a risk. I mean, there's still a risk, but it's not a huge one. Usually, assuming you have enough passion for the game, it will be outweighed by the reward. And if the final product is just like the risk is like the low chance of a risk, it didn't happen, then yeah, it's most likely gonna outweigh the reward. So I want to talk about two games. One I pre-ordered and one I didn't, and talk about why I chose to do so and not to do so. A game I just recently pre-ordered is Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 4. Why did I pre-order this game? Well, I felt like it was one of those games in which I had to get when I could. Because, you know, as soon as a game comes out, and you play it, for sure people are going to be on that. And I've never actually played a Telltale game before, but I do trust them. I mean, I know this whole video I said you shouldn't always trust a company because they might screw it up. But especially since after season 3, I think they've learned, and I've played the demo of it. It's only I think it took me 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour if I'm lucky, to beat the demo. And that was with a couple deaths, because I didn't get the mechanics down right away. But I trust that the game's gonna be good, and I want to experience it when it does come out, at the time it does. Now, this is, of course, going to take forever to get out. It's coming out on the 13th of October, and this is the 2nd of July. So that's 3 months off. But I felt like this game, of course, I'm very passionate about it. I felt like I wanted it right away as soon as it comes out to experience it first. And I do trust the company. Now, of course, there's still a risk. They could epically screw it up. But even though I said you don't always should trust them, you definitely should. Well, I wouldn't say you should always 100% trust them. But if you don't trust any company, then you're letting yourself down the whole time. I mean, I'm not saying like games like Red Dead Redemption is going to be bad. I'm not saying Kingdom Hearts 2 isn't going to be bad. Nothing like that, but you gotta keep in mind when you pre-order, you gotta say, okay, will I have enough passion that I want this game right away? I know it's going to be good, or at least I trust it's going to be good. And I trust it so much, I really want it at launch. Or you gotta say to yourself, do I want to see other people play this game and see if they somehow screwed up? Because it is always a possibility. And and especially another reason I want this game as soon as it came out is because this isn't really a game that, without ruining part of it, you can't watch a person play it, because you know the choices they made, you know if they're good or not. And it's kind of those games, it's those games that, like, if you don't play blind, it kind of ruins the whole experience. So this is why I want to pre-order the game. Now, there's another game I was looking at, and this one was 3 times more than Telltale, The Walking Dead. And yes, I do know that, excuse me, I do know it's not Red Dead Redemption. I know I've been using that as an example a lot, but I mean, it looks like a good game, but I don't know, maybe I'd get it if it came out and I'm like, oh, this looks really good. But it's Hitman 2. Hitman was really fun to me. I got it. Funny story, I actually got the Game of the Year edition because I found out it was actually cheaper to get Game of the Year edition than Standard Edition, which did not have Season 0. So essentially, I was getting more content for the same, for a better price. Like a cheaper price than the other game. So it's like, why, like any normal person would say yes to that. I mean, even if Season 0 was trash, in my personal opinion, I did like it. Oh, I thought the first level was trash, but the last level and it is still my favorite level. But I mean, I wouldn't want to I would take it. No? Yeah, so I really enjoyed the game, except for Bangkok. Yeah, I did not like the Bangkok levels, either of them, but I found the rest of the game very enjoyable, and and Hitman 2's coming out. Now, I would be like, oh yeah, I want that game, but then again, I thought it wouldn't really ruin the experience if I saw the game and if I saw the game before with a YouTuber playing it. You know? It wouldn't really ruin anything. And I want to see if the game actually is good. I mean, I am very trusting of the company, or at least the game. Well, maybe. I'm not sure about the company. I mean, I guess I do because I trust the game will be good. But I just want to make sure in case, I don't know, like, the characters are broken and stuff like that. So yeah, I do trust the game that come out, but one, I think it's too expensive. I mean, $60 is well worth uh well worth price to pay for the first game, and I have no doubt it'll be a good price for the second game. But for one, I wouldn't mind seeing the game first, testing it out before I get into the game, buy it. I want to see if it's well worth my money. And yeah, so I don't see an issue with that. And two, I don't think that dropping $60 on a pre-order is really the smartest idea. I mean, so like you just gotta be careful with pre-orders. And I guess that's the theme of the video. Just be careful with pre-orders. I mean, that's kind of the title. So, yeah. There's nothing really much else to say. Personally, for really any game, for like I'd say 99.9% of games that come out, I will not be pre-ordering the game. Like, for that's $60. It's just too big of a price to pay for something you don't know will be like. So yeah. And I know one thing I would pre-order if I could. I mean, I doubt it's really gonna be pre-order because it doesn't seem like a thing that would be pre-orderable. But Cuphead DLC, I would pre-order that as soon as I saw that if I could. Because I just want to play that as soon as it comes out. Isn't it coming out like January of next year? And I would still pre-order that because it looks fun. I mean, new bosses to Cuphead seems really fun to me. But yeah, so I guess that's it for this video. Subscribe if you feel like it, and goodbye. This is it. And a video. Yeah.